Hey, Cindy. Let's be cool. Okay?
Why are you laughing?
Being confused why the people on drugs are laughing.
Pointing things out on the screen.
You're not talking about porn. The golden shower girls.
The disrespect of mistaking television brilliance for pornography. I swear on the names of B. Arthur.
Skip.
Who wants to rob a bank?
And for the record, Betty White wouldn't do a
I thought I said skip, goddammit.
Will it get through my skin?
If it can't, nothing can.
Yeah, nothing. Except the tool to put the tracker in there in the first place.
Maybe Frenchie simply meant nothing that they currently have access to? How did you not think of that?
Gah! The blood splatter was fine, damn it. I don't need to see you digging into a bleeding wound. How am I supposed to finish my Funyuns?
Look, I'm not a fan of medical things and shit like that, but even I wasn't bothered by this. Discount Jeremy is a weak little bitch.
Joe finally gives us a scene of these heroes actually stopping crime, and I'm sure that's all that will happen here. Nothing will subvert that.
Why is this a sin? Seriously, the dumbest sins in their videos on The Boys are the ones where they complain about characters who don't care about stopping crime, not stopping crime. Like, why do you think breaking character is a good thing? This shit don't make no sense.
We are heroes. That's what heroes do.
Stealing your line from the God of Hammers.
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture ref.
Suit is so rigid, I can only imagine that Homelander has the most uncomfortable boner right now.
Discount Jeremy says boner.
Rats are like Pokemon.
Forgetting that there are literally rat Pokemon, like Raticate. And now I'm reminded that Ash traded his Butterfree for one like a f***ing dumbass.
Padding the sin count and runtime.
They're killing people for money.
Despite all the evidence to the contrary, Frenchie still thinks he has the moral high ground in this argument.
Who said he thinks he has the moral high ground? You're just making that up out of thin air. Frenchie never said that. As I already explained to you last time, Frenchie is able to criticize her decision to take out hits because he used to do the exact same thing and he knows the effect it has on your soul.
Well, what don't kill you makes you stronger.
Bringing Friedrich Nietzsche into a conversation where you've been reminded of shooting a woman.
Pointing things out on the screen.
We better have us a little deco at this loony bin, eh, lads?
Butcher's dialogue tries very hard to prove he is British, while contributing to the stigma of mental health issues.
Yup, and why are you pretending that's a sin? Butcher isn't a very good person. In fact, he's characterized as a piece of shit, so this isn't a flaw of the episode, it's characterization.
About getting ass with a soup can.
Wait, would you... are we talking about an open can? Or does it have to be...
Skip.
Sage Grove, a proud subsidiary of Global Wellness Services, which is a subsidiary of...
I can guess.
We all guessed it too, so I don't know why we needed this exposition. Or why MM waited till everyone was getting out of the van to deliver it.
If they hadn't told us this, you would have been complaining about how confusing this whole situation is, so...
Weaponized Xanax. The grenades you used on Behemoth during the bank heist? Got a soup activated by rage, so you simply take away his rage, turn him into a cupcake.
That sounds like a very specific weapon. How did he know he'd be going up against the specific soup whose weakness is being chilled out?
Because he staked out the bank beforehand and knew that Behemoth protected that specific bank? Wait, are you seriously telling me you didn't think of that? Jesus Christ, how dumb are you?
Cold Snap 2 months ago, Malchemical a month before that.
Okay, Cold Snap is a badass superhero name, but Malchemical? Where did you get that one? Walter White's Justice League fanfiction?
Discount Jeremy makes a pop culture.
Yeah, I see him.
And thanks to this bright flash of light, so did every other person on this side of the facility. Seriously, you brought the one soup whose power makes her impossible to hide?
A bright flash in the middle of the bright day really wouldn't draw much, if any, attention. Besides, we've been shown multiple times now that Vought is kinda lackadaisical when it comes to security because of their arrogance, so this all fits the context of the show.
What happened to...
You're looking well.
Yeah, no thanks to the 50 caliber round that she pumped into my chest.
We have no reason to believe these bullets are bigger or better. Is his plan just to piss her off?
Seeing as he doesn't pull the trigger, this sin is completely irrelevant. I mean, don't you think the reason he didn't shoot her was because he knew it wouldn't do anything?
Stormfront manages to fly past them and see nothing, despite them standing outside their van under no cover whatsoever.
Didn't you just mention that she was flying? Flying means you're moving at high speeds, and when you move at high speeds, it becomes very difficult to see things, especially tiny things like people on the ground far below you.
They never talk about this murder ever again.
Okay, and are you going to explain why this is a flaw of the episode? These sins where Discount Jeremy pretends that everyone in a TV show should be an amazing person who never does anything bad are incredibly stupid.
That orderly Stormfront's with. He look familiar to you?
Je ne sais pas.
Saying je ne sais pas instead of just no.
Je ne sais pas, I probably pronounced that horribly, means I don't know, which is not the same answer as no, so this sin is bullshit.
This successful test subject gets ruthlessly roasted for asking to talk to his sister. And not because such things make someone all that hard to deal with, but because the boys needed a shocking way to find out that this orderly is the infamous lamplighter.
What are you talking about? If they allowed him to speak with his sister, they'd be running the risk of him exposing the brutality of this institution to the outside world. They absolutely do have an in-universe reason for doing this.
Okay, but why are you drawing your gun now? Are you gonna shoot the surveillance footage?
Discount Jeremy doesn't understand emotions.
Fire blow a hole in a door like this? Perhaps. Did the story need a way for this super dangerous soup to be accidentally freed? Absolutely.
And why is that a sin? The story progresses the way it does because of this. That's true. But how can you claim that's a flaw of the episode? That's how stories work. Something happens that causes other things to happen. That's not bad, that's just how things function. These sins are taking stupidity to the extreme.
Does this guard not know what they do here, or the odds that a soup could be bulletproof? And why would Vought equip these guards with regular guns? Why would the guards themselves not all be soups? This was an accident waiting to happen.
The guards aren't all soups because Vought probably just doesn't have enough soups to do that. As for arming them with guns, it'll work for everyone who isn't bulletproof, which is better than being unarmed and not being able to subdue anyone at all.
If she could rip metal doors from their hinges, what exactly was keeping Cindy secure in her own cell? She didn't need Lamplighter to melt it, right? Could Cindy have escaped anytime she wanted?
No, the episode is clearly showing us that she couldn't. We don't know the exact reason why, but that's not a sin of the episode. Just because something hasn't been explained yet doesn't mean the episode made a mistake. It either means that element isn't necessary to the story being told, or it will be explained later.
This is a dumb superpower to have if your outside skin isn't also immune to being burned by your own acid. Now that I've gotten that off my chest, how did his lips burn off? There should be a burnt head with two perfectly good lips all puckered up.
And your evidence for that claim? Oh, you don't have any? Then it's not a sin.
Need power.
Well, you got a pretty superpower then, don't you?
Butcher would be diabolical at TV-Sins. Oh, wait. Did we already use that one? Hang on, I gotta look through some past Boys episodes. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Yep. We did use it. Well, since we used the same sin twice, you're now qualified for our sin rebate program. Simply send us a printed selfie of you holding up pictures of the two identical sins via self-addressed...
Would you need to explain anything to me?
Choking your girlfriend without explicit consent, and establishing a safety word.
Pointing things out on the screen without doing anything of value or being entertaining.
Man in seven-figure debt, a heart condition, and in heavy withdrawal. Do you really think you have the luxury to get up and leave?
People who use the word luxury like this. Just people who use the word luxury in general.
Padding the sin count and runtime.
Tailing me the night that I torched those kids.
Straight up admitting to torching children. Who the do you think you are, Anakin Skywalker?
So the episode would have been better if he lied and said he never killed Mallory's grandchildren? What? How?
Don't do it. Don't you dare do it, Frenchie. Oh, he's gonna do it. Yep, he's flashbacks positioning.
Why are you sending these flashbacks? Frenchie's flashbacks are one of the strongest elements of this entire episode. They give us some fantastic insight on his character and the events surrounding the death of Mallory's grandchildren. Why is that bad?
FBI? They really are even American.
Hold up there, guy who's only here to be killed off as a way to create a moral dilemma for Annie. For all you know, Butcher could be a naturalized U.S. citizen, which would make him eligible to apply for the job.
Yup, and this guy obviously just doesn't realize that. Why do you expect everyone to know everything? Jesus, this shit is dumb.
Stay back.
This will stand off for all of the some time.
Discount Jeremy has the attention span of a toddler with ADHD cliché.
Annie's able to control her powers well enough to cauterize a wound, but not well enough to not accidentally kill that guy who she will find out was a father, so she can feel even more guilty and sad about it.
Discount Jeremy points things out on the screen cliché. Not to mention that he's, yet again, forgetting that emotions and impulse exist.
So Mary, the propofol. Some other odds and ends, I'll make a knockout bomb.
I love exploring Frenchie's ingenuity, but why haven't they tried a window? Even if they have bars, we've already seen Lamplighter melt his way through that prison door.
The windows could potentially be tempered or fire rated, which means Lamplighter would have to generate fire hotter than at least 500 degrees Fahrenheit. If he's not doing that right now, it implies that he can't do it.
I figured you boast about it to Homelander.
I'm not a f***ing animal.
Well, you do burn people alive for a living, Lamplighter. I wouldn't call you a saint either.
And he doesn't see it that way. Seriously, why do you sin characters for saying things that aren't true? Do you really think that nobody in the real world has ever said anything incorrect? Jesus.
I told you I have something.
Something more important than this, more important than us.
Yes, since it's about keeping them out of prison. Why do shows pretend words are so hard to just say?
Because in this instance, they are. I mean, did you not hear Cherie use Frenchie's guilt against him just now? Their friend is literally dying at this very moment, and Frenchie is about to leave. This isn't an easy situation or explanation, my guy. Keep up.
Oh, thanks. Your approval means everything to me.
This sarcasm might have made sense if an hour ago you weren't so desperate to know why he disapproved of you.
You know that I hate Vought as much as you do. You know that. But it doesn't even matter to you.
You can't have it both ways, Starlight. He said thanks. You said no prob. Move on. That's it.
So we're just ignoring that this is the exact kind of thing that happens with some people in real life, where someone will claim they don't want someone else's approval, but they can't stand not knowing why the person disapproves of them in the first place? Yeah, that's right. Characters aren't supposed to have realistic human qualities. They're supposed to be monolithic, perfect statues, or whatever the f he thinks.
These people are test subjects. They're trying to stabilize the V.
Explain.
Now that they've had their breakfast club moment, they're all friends, and Lamplighter can finally tell the audience all about what's going on in this facility.
Yup, and why is that a sin? Seriously, what's bad about people who have just hashed out their issues and settled them once and for all being able to work together?
How would Vought do that? It's gonna up their movies, their merchandising.
Okay, don't tell me. They just make me burn the evidence.
Okay, but who is they? Vought doesn't tell you why? Or the scriptwriters for this episode didn't tell you why? Because it kind of seems like the latter.
Nope, you're just showcasing yet more of your tunnel vision, childish way of interpreting things. The show hasn't explained this yet, but that doesn't mean it will never be explained.
I'm pretty sure this is what happens when you spend too much time working your love gherkin. After all those reps, it gets strong enough to strangle you with the same wanton disregard for decency that you've shown it all these many years. And if none of that turns out to be true, then once again, the sin is the many failings of my high school health class.
Boring!
Also, we don't get to see Butcher explain the shrapnel sticking out of his friend in a way that results in no one at the hospital calling the cops.
So you wanted to see him say, car crash into a tree? Really? That's the sin? Why is that something you so desperately wanted to see? And yes, I understand that the show never suggests this is what Butcher said. I'm just pointing out how easy it would be for him to explain this. A car crash not involving another car or any other people would evade the cops.
He cannot absolve my sins. No one can.
Oh yeah? Watch me. But also, just remember what they always say. Sometimes the Sin Lord taketh away, and sometimes the Sin Lord giveth. It's my job. It's my job.
Discount Jeremy makes a biblical reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
You cannot punish him as much as he punishes himself.
Well, if that mentality works, let's never prosecute anyone for any crimes and just let self-punishment guide humanity to its bright utopian future. We'll never have to lock up murderers, arsonists, or people who talk to you while using the urinal ever again.
I appreciate the joke about people who talk while using the urinal, but the rest of the sin is complete bullshit. First, they're not talking about arresting and charging anyone. They're talking about an illegal execution. Second, the reason Frenchie said this is because Lamplighter feels genuine remorse, whereas a lot of criminals don't feel any remorse.
Henrik Himmler. He was a lovely dancer.
Yeah, nobody had moves like Himmler. He was especially good at the worm after he took that cyanide capsule.
Okay, that was actually pretty funny.